Well, there it goes. There. Perfect. Worked.
All right, cool. Yeah, I had my phone locked on portrait because like I think I was like laying in bed and like just staring at my phone and I didn't want it to like flip or whatever.
Yeah. That's annoying as hell when that happens. Gotcha. Yeah. So how you been, man? How you feel?
Good. How are you guys? Well, actually, I'm really like beat to shit right now because I've been training. I was a, like, long story short, I was an ambassador for Kabuki Strength with like a discount code and like all that, like commission, whatever, yada yada. But I accepted a sponsored athlete role with them now, and they're actually doing my coaching, and they're freaking sadists. So I'm like, I'm snatch grip. I'm beltless snatch grip deadlifting twice per week, and normal deadlifting once per week, on top of twice per week squatting and twice per week benching, and I'm just like this area right here is like a war zone, and I kind of feel like I'm gonna die, but I feel really strong, so it's fine. I don't know.
That's Chris Duffin, right?
Yeah, it's Duffin, Brandon Sen, and their team of coaches. They actually have, it's like their virtual coaching module is the way that they describe it. It's somebody's gonna text me and like get all pissed at me because I forget them, but it's Duffin and Andre Miklia or Miklia, I never know how to pronounce his name. Darrington Wright, Cassandra, don't know her last name because I'm an asshole, and Brady Cable.
And do they just like, did you just piss one of them off, or like why are they throwing all this volume at you? That's crazy, man.
No, it's like you when you sign up for their coaching, and I love their coaching. If anybody's thinking about it, it's worth all the money in the world to do it. But you basically just let them know what you've done in the past, what's worked for you, and they build a template off of that going into it. And I am the type of guy that like I've been lifting like in powerlifting for like 10 years now. I started when I was 14. I started single plying as a super heavyweight, which is hilarious. But because I was like a little meatball. It was like all I did was play.
You were a little meatball?
Yeah, all I did was play PlayStation 2 and like Lord of the Rings, Two Towers, SOCOM Navy SEALs. That was my jam back in the day, man. But basically, I've been doing it for a long time, and I've been like up until 3 years ago when I started programming with Thomas Neal, who is also a real good friend of mine. I've just been doing my own thing. Like I used to be on the bodybuilding.com forums, if you guys were ever on those, and I did my own variation of Mad Cow's 5x5, where I was basically squatting 3 times a week, front squatting twice per week, deadlifting twice per week, barbell rowing 3 times per week, because I was a weirdo in college and like end of high school, because my fun time was the gym, and like I'd just go there rather than like going out and partying and stuff. But then I did both, and then I just like didn't sleep because I'm an idiot. But like it's whatever.
So how did you, at 14 years old, you started competing powerlifting?
Mm-hmm.
How did that happen?
I'm really lucky. I'm really fortunate because I grew up, born and raised in Flint, Michigan, and the water is still not clean there. I'm still pissed about this.
No shit.
Seriously? I'm not, like, serious right now. Write your fucking local and federal governments, because fuck these people. I hate all these people. I really pissed about it. My parents still live there, and the water's still shitty, and like I get all fucking fired up.
What's going on over there with the water?
Basically, what happened is the drinking water was pulled from the Detroit supply of water, which they pull from Lake Erie. So there's like water treatment plants where they like will make it suitable for drinking water. My dad actually works at one in Flushing Township, which is it's a suburb of Flint, so they're not affected by this. But basically what happens is they treat the water so you can drink it. They use particular sources of that water. They were using the Detroit water, which would come from one of the Great Lakes, which is surrounding Michigan. But what happened was, in order to save money, they're not entirely sure yet, or well, they are sure because they're like going through litigation and like actual criminal charges being brought against them. But they decided to pull from the Flint River, which had a very, very old setup of pipelines that would where the water would travel through. So they basically decided to do that without upgrading the pipes and not taking into account how much flow would occur during that. Mm-hmm. And essentially what happened is the pipes got wear and tear, messed up, and lead from old pipes would seep into the drinking water. Jesus, and man. A bunch of people got like lead poisoning and are sick from it and will be sick in the future because there's like boiling the water does nothing. It's literally you cannot drink the water. There, like 2 years ago, when this was at the height of going on, like my parents and my friends and family and whatever could literally turn the water on and it would be brown, like literally dirt water.
Fuck, man.
And that's a fucking city in the United States of America.
Yeah.
And people care
this
about
is a third
fucking,
world. This is a third world nation. This is the U.S., man.
That's why I'm so fucking pissed about it and why I get so fired up about it, because it's freaking gross, man. And people don't give a fuck because the way media works and the way like information these days works, it's like, okay, I'm gonna put like a fucking video with like music on and like scrolling text, and you can watch that on Facebook for 3 minutes and share it and be like, whoa, this is terrible, and then you don't think about it ever again until it pops up once in the future. They're like, oh, this is terrible, it hasn't happened, nothing's happened, and it's like, oh, you fucking wonder why.
It's been years though. Why is this still going on? What the shit?
Because basically what the national government decided was that it was up to the state to fix it. But the problem with that is Michigan has had, when the auto industry left Michigan, like GM, the plant shut down, Ford, the plant shut down, all these places, all the plants shut down because they were cheaper sourcing them elsewhere, wherever that might be. And that was the entire state's economy. When that happened, state doesn't have any money anymore. Guess what you have to do to fix this water issue? Install all new pipes, all new systems, all new infrastructure. And where do we get the money from that?
And the federal government's like, fuck it, it's not our problem, we're not going to help.
But it's like, we have problems elsewhere. We can't just give you like millions of dollars. But recently, in the past, I think like 3 months, 4 months or something, like very recently, there was not a bill, but whatever you want to call it, that got passed, that like there was a grant of like $250 million that's going to get sent to Flint to help fix this, which is good.
Yeah,
but
shit.
It's like too little too late because people are fucking sick from this, and it sucks. And it's like, you think like, oh, everybody deserves water. Like fucking people will think about like Africa when they think of that, like sub-Saharan Africa.
Yeah, exactly. You think Africans deserve drinking water?
I got fucking high school buddies in Flint, Michigan that are like, oh yeah, I haven't had tap water in like 4 years because I know it'll fucking kill me.
Because lead in your system, it's not just lead poisoning, but what's that?
It's lead poisoning. It makes you crazy. It eats your fucking brain. Jesus. And people are, that's in the United States of America. And then everybody's like, Donald Trump said this. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck what he did. Just give me fucking money. I don't care who the fuck it is.
Fuck it, man.
He
can grab a pussy if he likes. If he sends me money, it's good. If I can drink my water again, we're good.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, man.
Yeah. So you grew up in Flint?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, super tangent off of that, but what I was saying is I was blessed because I started powerlifting in high school because my team had a club, or my high school had a club team, and I played football and wrestled, and the club president or coach, the coach was an assistant defensive coach for the freshman football team and the head wrestling coach.
Jesus.
So
and powerlifting would definitely help those sports.
Yeah, and he basically said if you I can't remember what like the deal was, but it was like if you join the powerlifting team and compete once, we'll give you like a year's worth of like just program whatever. And as a kid that comes into high school, and I was a meatball. I was 5'5". Like I'm barely over 5'6" now. I'm not a tall guy, but I was like 280 pounds.
Holy,
didn't,
at 14? God damn, you were a meatball. Can you post a picture of that and tag us?
I'll send one to you on Messenger, because it's ridiculous, dude. Like I don't know. Like I grew up. I had a nana. Like my grandma was just straight up Polish woman, spoke fluent in Polish. My Chucha, my Aunt Alice would always call her. They just bust out into Polish, and she was always like, "Joe has to be big and strong," and like she'd give me.
And things got carried away.
Mountains of potatoes, like mountains of bacon. Like I'd eat lunch at school. I'd walk home from school because I basically lived at my grandparents' house when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And she'd have me like second lunch. You know those El Monterey taquitos. Those rolled up like frozen microwave like mini torpedo burritos or whatever they are.
Yeah.
I have a whole fucking box of them with a glass of 2% milk.
Shit.
Yeah, I was like.
You were dirty bulking early.
Yeah, I was dreamer bulking like back before I knew what that was.
Yeah.
But as a kid coming into high school, I was like, oh, I'm socially awkward. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know how to talk to girls. Kids picked on me. I was telling my fiance like they beamed at me and make fun of my man boobs and be like, you have bigger titties than the girls in class, and I was like, oh, sad, but like, yeah, But I was
you
like,
don't seem socially awkward at all now. Like you, like how did this transformation happen?
I don't know. I woke up one day. Well, that's the thing. Like I started lifting weights and I lost over 100 pounds my junior and senior year of high school wrestling, and that was my sport because I went to college for wrestling. Okay. I wrestled 171. I lost like around 100 pounds, and my last competition that I weighed in at 169.8. Okay. So like I was small, but the thing of it is when I went through all that losing the weight and like stuff, I sort of expected like, okay, I'm like girls are gonna flock to me, like I'm gonna be awesome, this is gonna be cool, I'm gonna be like fucking Brad Pitt, I'm gonna have to beat them off with a broomstick type of thing, and I'm losing all this weight and I'm feeling better, feeling better about myself, but I'm like, I'm still socially awkward. I don't know like what to do. I don't know like how to. And I'm like, wait. Yeah. Maybe I need to like work on my personality or something.
I gotta work. You had a total dude. You had a life fucking changing moment in high school. Some people have like changed in high school. You like came in one way and left the other. Holy shit.
I know. And that's the thing. I was talking to my fiance Skylar about this, and I'm like, you know, there are people out there that are like 30 fucking years old, and they don't realize that they're fucking assholes or that people don't like them. And I'm like, if a 16-year-old kid can figure that out, what the fuck are you doing, man? Like, get your shit together. But but like, I saw that, and I was like, man, I need to like, it was one of those fake it till you make it things, and then I'm just like, I just forced myself to go like talk to people and be like, hi, my name's Joe. You know, like just talk.
Get out of your comfort zone.
It was clunky and shitty, and like I embarrassed myself. But then I went to college, and I'm super social dude now. I don't know. I love talking to people, and it's you fake it till you make it until you don't have to anymore. And now I'm like not fat Joe, socially awkward, like
Fat Joe. Shit, that's like the rapper Fat Joe. Was that your nickname?
Yeah. Lean back or whatever.
Yeah, that's it. There you go. No shit. So growing up in Flint, because coming from, I don't know, the rest of the nation or anywhere else, you hear about Flint, like you've seen him in the documentaries with Roger Moore.
Michael Moore.
And, or Michael Moore, sorry. And Roger Moore's fucking Bond. But Michael Moore, and you hear about the tap water and shit. Like, what was Flint really like growing up? Is it as hard as you hear? Like,
that's the thing. It's like there are bad spots, you know, and there are great people. There's actually been like when I when I was like not moving, but like junior, senior year of high school, when I was looking at like colleges and whatever, there was a big revitalization happening, and it's like it's honestly like turned into sort of a mini college town now, because the University of Michigan has a Flint campus that like directly in the center of downtown Flint, and it's you just grew up with it. Like I didn't think of it as any different. Like I went to school at Powers Catholic High School, it was a private school, and I did 16 years of Catholic education. I don't really identify with Catholicism right now, but it's like I took their good teachings and like applied it to life, whatever. I don't know. But like it was a better high school than me going to like public school, because we were right down road from Flint Northwestern, and like just as an example, the day before Christmas break, I think it was like one of those week-long breaks in there, we actually had to have a lockdown because somebody at Northwestern pulled the fire. It was like some plan by a gang or something, pulled the fire alarms, and then did a drive-by.
Holy shit, man!
To the kids that like went out to school, and that's
holy fuck, man! So they pull them like they're gonna come out and we're gonna fucking mow some kids down.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ! And this is your neighborhood.
Yeah. As a 16-year-old, that's like holy fuck. That's crazy. But that was just like as growing up as me in going to school in Flint, it was like, well, that's Northwestern for you, It's like,
Jesus. Yeah, that's when you're like, yo, I'm not Catholic, but I'm going to Catholic school. Yeah, I'll convert to whatever this shit. Yeah, I'll be what you want me to be, man. Just get me out of that fucking public school. Holy shit.
Yeah, seriously, and it's like, and there were good people there. Like, I mean, seriously, it's just like like anything, it's how you react to the circumstances you're in. But it's just there were a lot of opportunities to like fall in with bad shit going on there, and that's why I'm lucky and I'm blessed that I ended up falling in love with like lifting weights and sports and like fitness type stuff, because I look at even some of the kids that went to the Catholic school, like there are dudes that are just like fiddle fucking their way through life and like have got like just bad shit, that's going on, and it's like I easily could have been that guy, and I'm glad I'm not.
You think weightlifting kind of gave you that path, and sports in general, losing weight kept you busy, and it kind of gave you some direction and gave you your confidence. You know what? In a lot of ways, if you were a little introverted in that environment, it might not have been the worst thing in the world. You know what I mean? Because you could easily make friends with the wrong guy. Sometimes the wrong guys see a guy like you and think, let's bring him in.
Prey on him.
Yeah. Wow, shit.
Yeah, but I mean, it's it biggest thing, like you said, it really kept me busy, because like if I was just because rather than, there were instances where like my wrestling practices were at like 5 o'clock, so there was like an hour and a half period or like 2 hour period from like when school let out until practice. So we just like bum around, like just like get a quick workout in or something. But I think back and I'm like, there were kids that would just sit in like our commons. It was our like cafeteria or whatever, and I just look at those. I think about those kids, and I'm like, oh yeah, they're just waiting till the ride gets here to like go get high with them or to go hang out with their buddies from Northwestern or whatever. And I'm like, I just think like, man, I could have been that. I could have been those dudes, because and like I mentioned earlier, because I want to touch on this too, because it's an interesting thing, and it gives me a reason to I'm pushing an agenda ultimately. But I grew up at my grandparents' house because my dad worked a shit ton when I was a kid. Like my parents weren't around a lot, and that's not to say like because they were like deadbeats, not at all. Like I love my parents. They're like my dad's been to every single one of my competitions ever.
Oh no, like shit! 10 years straight. That's a streak.
Including like football, wrestling, powerlifting, all of it. He's been to every single one. So like USO, he was there. So was my mom. It was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
But my dad worked a whole bunch because my mom was a type 1 diabetic, diagnosed when she was 6 years old, went through complete 100% renal kidney failure. So she was on like 5-day-a-week dialysis, like just because her kidneys weren't working, so they needed to like clean the blood, put it back in her.
Yeah.
And she ended up having a like almost dying, total like crazy fucking thing. Like,
how old are you when this happened? How old are you, just for timeline wise? How old are you when she almost died and went through that? This is
Sixth, seventh, and eighth grade.
Jesus, what, man?
Mm-hmm.
So your dad was just like working overtime, or?
Yeah, where he worked for the city. He would work overtime for the city. So basically, he was like the snowplow guys. Like whenever it would snow, he would be. Well, I don't know where you guys are from, but like if it snowed, they call him in at like midnight when the storm's supposed to hit at 1, and they'd be out just snow plowing the entire night.
Yeah.
So and then he'd have to work his normal shift, 7 a.m. to 4:30.
Jesus, man, this dude just straight up. I mean, you gotta hats off to him. He's doing this for his wife, and holy
my
shit.
My dad's my fucking hero, dude. Like he's my best friend. I love that guy. Like he's at every single one of my competitions, and everybody that's met him is like, I fucking love your dad, and I'm like, I know he's awesome. He's great. Like he's legitimately my best friend because we've been through shit together, you know, and like
this is an interesting childhood and upbringing, Joe. This is
I don't know.
Dude, we've done
Joe. I don't know.
Yeah, we've done a lot of these interviews, man. This is pretty intriguing stuff.
No, yeah, I like talking about this because it's like it gives people that like different perspective, because there are a lot of guys out there that it's just the basic like, oh, I grew up, you know, like I like my parents, but like blah blah blah, you know. But I'm really really close with my parents because like they really sacrificed to like give me the best opportunity that I could have. Because I mean, like for instance, with the Catholic school thing, the only reason I was at the Catholic school is because my dad would fundraise for the tuition. He would work like there's a DT Energy Music Theater is like a concert venue in Michigan. He would drive to that like 45 minutes, like 2 or 3 times per week, and work as the beer vendor guy, like walking around like cold beer here, because that was a way.
Just to make sure my kid cannot go to that other fucking school. I know it goes on at that other school. God, dude, your dad just—it's like he's got like a life to sacrifice for his kid and family and the whole.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
And how's your mom right now? How's your mom right now?
Good, because what happened was she ended up having almost passing away. It was like this really hard thing, but she ended up having a double kidney and pancreas transplant. So it saved her life. She actually has 3 kidneys and 2 pancreas right now, because they don't take them out, they just leave them in. So she had this whole invasive surgery. Like she has a scar from the bottom of her chest all the way down to like right above her pelvic bone, and it's like this. It was this giant thing, and she ended up saving her life. But the issue with it was our insurance didn't cover all of it. Oh,
gosh.
So we're still paying.
I was gonna say, I would imagine you're still paying that off.
Jesus,
that's crazy.
So like we're Canadian. So
millions or something. I don't even fucking know the total number, but it was like unbelievable.
We're from Canada, just so you know. So we're from Toronto. So we have like different healthcare stuff. So we don't totally, our healthcare is we got we wouldn't pay for stuff. So we don't fully grasp. Like so you guys have to cover this. The way your insurance works, they'll cover.
Their insurance would be like it'll cover up to $100,000 for this. And
is that how it is, Joe? And then you guys take the rest?
Yeah.
And it was like I think like 800,000 or something.
Holy fuck, man! Yeah. On top, and this is like on top of life, everything else you gotta pay for.
On top of the dialysis already. On top of the Catholic school, on top of life in general, on top of like whatever credit card debt my parents had accrued just through living, whatever.
Dude, fucking Michael Moore could do a documentary on you guys. Jesus
Whatever.
Christ,
man.
That's nuts, Joe.
No, but believe me, like I wouldn't. I'm not looking for like pity or with anything. I'm just like that's just how it was.
This is the truth. We're asking questions and you're answering, dude. This is crazy.
And that's why like I'm not exactly the typical like dude. I joke around because Skylar's sleeping right now. She's a bartender, so she's on like a way different schedule than most of us. But she joked with me because she asked me out and this is like soon after my 21st birthday, like 3 years ago or whatever. She thought I was in my 30s because of the way I just like carry myself and like talk. She thought because she's 27. And when I told her how young I was, she like almost didn't want to date me or like be out with me because she's like, I feel like I'm robbing the cradle, blah blah blah. But like I joke around because I feel like I'm the oldest 24-year-old out there because I had to grow up so fast because after this surgery happened, like my parents couldn't help me like with much of anything, you know. So that was me when I went to school. I went to John Carroll University, which is a Jesuit school, because they recruited me for wrestling in Cleveland, Ohio.
Sorry, what's the Jesuit school?
Jesuit is it's another Catholic school. Okay. And I've had like 16 years of Catholic education.
Gotcha.
But Jesuit is like they're a following of Catholicism. Gotcha. It's like a bunch of monks or whatever. But it's cool, and I really like the Jesuits because it's really interesting if you want to like look into it at all. Because like the founder of the Jesuits actually came out like later in his life, and he's like, I'm actually an atheist. I just thought this would.
Fuck?
Yeah.
What?
He's like, I thought this would be like the best course of action to take to actually like make change happen in the world. And I think that's the coolest thing in the world.
Holy
because their whole motto.
What about everybody else who followed him and they were Catholics? Are they like, what?
He's just like, sorry guys.
Yeah, he's sorry guys. Shit.
Yeah.
Holy smokes, Joe.
But their motto is go forth and set the world on fire. They're very based on like philanthropy and like just going out and helping people. And because of my upbringing in Flint, because of all the stuff, all the other stuff that's going on, that's why I'm so big on these guys. Like I wouldn't say I'm Catholic. I haven't been to church in like I don't even know, like since I left college. But it's, you know, I just identify with the whole, like, actually go out and be good people and actually make some change happen and do something worthwhile. I just think that's really cool. But so what I meant was, like, when I went to school, I didn't have to, like, I wasn't able to get student loans because my parents were in such a bad financial spot, and I had no credit. You know, I was like a 17, 18-year-old kid. Yeah. Where the hell would I get credit from? Like I couldn't get my own loan, and I didn't have a cosigner, so I couldn't get any student loans. So basically, what happened was I got some financial aid and some academic scholarships because I got good grades and stuff. But it didn't cover all of it. So what I had to do, on top of, and I'm proud of this because I graduated in 4 years, but I worked full time the entire time I was in school.
How the shit did you do that?
Didn't sleep.
What the shit?
I really I don't know, man. Like that's why I feel like I'm the oldest 24-year-old out there because I would literally. There were times where I would like organize my classes so that I would have like all of them back to back, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then have like a 3-day weekend. And I'd just like get them all done in the morning and then go to work, or like have them all in the evening and then go to work early in the morning.
What was your work? What did you do for a job?
This is a weird story.
I believe you. This is amazing. This is fucking amazing. But go on.
Preface to this is I was exercise science / kinesiology major. One of the things that we did, we observed a autopsy in our freshman anatomy class, which I thought that was very cool. I was like, maybe I want to be a forensic pathologist. I don't really know what I want to do. So I like talked to the guy there, and my biology professor, who Dr. Amanda McGill. Amanda, I think her name was. I don't know. But I was talking to her and talking to this guy and just blah blah blah, like random conversation. And then as we're walking away, she mentions that she's actually dating a guy that works at a funeral home, and I'm just like, oh yeah, that's cool, interesting. You know, like and apparently they have a crematory, and they which is where they cremate the bodies and give the ashes to the families and whatever. Yeah. And then, like, fast forward 2 months from then, and I'm like, shit, my loans didn't go through. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to either have to drop out, go back to Michigan.
Can't go back to Flint, man. You can't go back to Flint. You know that. Yeah.
And my dad was like, you're going to fucking stay in school. I don't know how we're going to do this, but it's going to happen.
Yeah, and don't come back. We can't. Oh, Jesus. Talk about your back to the wall. Your dad is financially strapped. Your mom's sick. You got you're going to live with your grandparents. It's fucking Flint, Michigan. The water is poisoned. You're like, fuck me. I got to make this work.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And so basically, I'm like, I'm just like freaking out. I don't know what's going on. Like, I'm trying to come up with options. And then somehow it gets brought up to Dr. McGill, and I'm talking to her about it, and just basically like, just bitching. I'm like, shit, I don't know what I'm going to do. I got to finish out this semester, and then I don't know what's going to go on. Like, I don't know whether I'm going to be here. And she's like, well, I remember, like, we were talking about that at that autopsy, like how my friend helps run that funeral home. Like, they're actually looking for some extra help at the crematory. And I'm like, really? And she's like, yeah, it pays pretty well. Because, like, it's honestly like nobody wants to do it because it's like working with that cheese and stuff. Because it's morbid. It's like freaky. Yeah. But and like, well, I don't know. Like, can I get his email? Can I like give him my resume? Like, just I've never done it before. I don't know if I'd be okay with it, but I got to try something.
You ain't got no choice. Yeah, you're like, fuck. You're like Eminem and 8 Mile. You're like, listen, I am gonna make it happen.
I gotta do something.
Yeah, I'm your man.
Yeah, and then, long story short, when I graduated college senior year, I was managing Greenfield Crematory in Cleveland, Ohio.
Holy shit! So you were like an undertaker?
Well, kinda. Like, yeah. I mean, basically the way I saved a bunch of money is because I actually lived in the funeral home.
What the shit? Are you serious, man? This is a fucking crazy story, dude. You lived in a funeral home. Tell me you slept in caskets. That's the only way this thing gets better. Is you slept? I slept in fucking caskets, Ryan. I had to make things work. Jesus.
But they had an apartment on the second floor, and it was free rent. It was free rent because I was on call 24/7. If somebody passed, if somebody was in hospice, who is like, okay, I know Grandpa Steve isn't gonna be around for much longer. We got everything organized through the funeral home or whatever, and then Grandpa dies at 2 a.m. on a Tuesday morning. They call Joe, and my apartment phone rings, and they're like, Joe, you got to go pick up this guy. And
fuck me, dude. You were like, how old were you when you were doing this?
19, 20.
Dude, like,
18, 19, 20, 21.
Dude, when I was fucking 18, 19, like, I'm going to bars. I was an idiot. I didn't know what the shit I was doing. You're like, this is crazy, man. You got a crazy life, man.
That's why I keep telling people, or why I say to people, I feel like I'm the oldest 24-year-old out there.
Yeah, like, if you didn't hunker down and weren't so flippin' disciplined, like, there's no way you would. How many people would do this?
I wouldn't be where I am right now. And like, I just finished applying to Doctor of Physical Therapy programs. Because I've been out of school for like 3 years now, but I just I have all my prerequisites done because I had a minor in biology as well, and I just decided I'm going to try to go the physical therapy route because, again, the Jesuit go forth and set the world on fire. Like, I feel like I could really do some really cool shit with that because I already have a pretty big reach through my own athletic stuff through powerlifting, and then if you tack Doctor of Physical Therapy onto the end of that, then it's like, oh, fly Joe to this gym and put on a clinic, or like go to this expo and whatever, and then it's cool. But so I wouldn't be doing that. I don't know what I'd be doing.
Jesus, man. So okay, we'll pick it up. So you're going to college, university, and were you competing in powerlifting this whole time as well? How could you find time to do any anything else, man.
Lifting caskets.
I don't know.
Yeah, like how the shit did this happen? How do you make it work? You couldn't have had a girlfriend or be hanging out with buddies. You couldn't.
No,
no
not
way.
really. Like I didn't have.
You're not
I
bringing
had
girls
a
back to
long-
the fucking funeral home. That's
Yeah,
a hard sell.
And if they are, I don't know if you want to keep them around. There's some more.
Well, I still partied because I still had I had some friends, but they knew that I was like crazy. Like they knew that I was like crazy busy, and that's like what I had to do. And I would like if I ever went to a party and ever like whatever, it was never go back to Joe's place. It's like that didn't fucking work.
Oh shit! Or you get paid. I gotta go pick up a body. It's 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
Hold this
And
beer for me.
dude, that happened at like parties. I was
Jesus.
at I was one time I was like shit faced, and I'm at my buddy's house, and they call me and they're like, Joe, we need you to pick this guy up, and I'm like, I can't, and they're like, why? What are you doing? And I'm like, I'm like really drunk right now. You gotta call somebody else. They're like, God damn it, okay.
God, that's what happens with the kids. 19.
Yeah.
I was like, it's a Saturday night. I'm like 20 years
If
old.
you
Come
didn't
on.
every now and then have a night off, your head would explode, man. The type of pressure.
Yeah, and they were flexible with that. Like they didn't. It wasn't like I wasn't on all the time, you know. But I mean, and that's the thing. I really look back, and I don't know how because when I trained and whatever, and like actually lifted and worked out, it wasn't anywhere near like optimal or whatever.
I bet.
Because I think back, and I'm like, if I didn't have all this stuff going on and I just if I put as much energy towards powerlifting as I do now, I'm like, I don't know where the hell I could be, you know, based on like strength or competition or whatever. But I don't know, you know, I did the Battle of the Great Lakes USAPL competitions in Cleveland. I only competed like once or twice per year. Even back then, just because that's like the only thing that I could manage. But I did USAPL up until 2013 or 14, I think it was.
Was that equipped?
That was raw. When I went to college, I did raw because I just didn't want to do single ply anymore, and I just was like, I don't know, I just didn't. But Orlando Raw Nationals, one of the first Raw Nationals. It was either 2012. No, it was either 2013 or 2014. It was at the same place Raw Nationals is going to be this year. Robert Keller was the meet director. I competed against Johnny Candido, John Downing, the other, I can't remember the other
How much
guy's
did
name,
you weigh
but
then?
he
You
was like
competed against Candido. He's a lot smaller, no?
83 kilos.
You were
Or
83
82.
kilos. Holy shit! No kidding.
Yep. Yeah, and I came in, I think in the juniors, I think I came in third behind Candido and somebody else. I don't remember, but that was like that was when I sort of was like, man, I could be really good at this, because I was like, oh, I qualified for Raw Nationals, and I went there and I did okay, and I was like, this is really cool. I could do something really cool there. And then that following spring or summer or whatever, or spring, because it's in March, I went to the Arnold in Columbus. A couple of friends and I went to Columbus, went to the Arnold Expo, and I was just like, this is back when YouTube was exploding with like the animal videos and like who the fuck is Dan Green? Who's this freak of nature? Like Jay Nera, Ben Seath, Grant Higa, like all these guys, and I'm just like, holy shit, these guys are mutants. Like I don't know what they're doing or anything. And I go to the animal cage and I'm just like, just scoping them out, and I'm like, what is this place? Like this is so cool. Oh my god. And then I just talk to some of the guys, and I'm talking to Ben Seath. And Dan Green is like off in the distance, and Jesse Norris comes up, and I talk to him, and I'm like, man, you know, like it's just, I'm not saying it out loud because I'm not that socially awkward anymore, but I'm just like, I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, these guys they're not much different than I am. They're still people. They're not mutants. Like, they're not like aliens. And I'm just thinking like, I could fucking do this, you know, like, because I've had a different type of upbringing, and I was like, man, if I set my mind to something, I'm gonna do it. And then I see these guys, and I'm like, I can do this. That's not that bad. Like they're not like crazy out there, and then I'm just thinking the wheels are turning. I'm like, I'm gonna fucking do this one day. Like I'm gonna be somebody at this. And then I kept doing it, and 2015, I think it was, October 2015, I competed at the RPS Lexan Fall Classic in sleeves, and I hit a 1725 total at 198, and then just kept competing at 198, and then this past year, and another thing, because I was chasing an 1800 sleeve total at 198 just because I wanted it. I don't know why. But then I tried to do that, and I ended up almost killing myself. Did you hear about this? Because it's on my Facebook. It was sort of when I was like,
tell us about it.
Okay. Basically, what happened was, and what people shouldn't do is irresponsibly use LASIK. Or Lasix, not LASIK, that's eye surgery. LASIK.
That too, though. But yeah.
Because it can really, really fuck you up.
What is LASIK?
It's a diuretic. It's a pharmaceutical grade diuretic.
Okay.
And it's really, really bad because it basically it pulls. So, like, every particle or molecule or whatever you want to call it of sodium, magnesium, calcium, like all these electrolytes or whatever, each one in your body has water molecules, like, bound to them. So the way pharmaceutical grade diuretics work is they take those, because they know that, like, the sodium has water bound to it, they flush the sodium out, and it will in turn flush the water out. But you'll lose a bunch of water weight, which is great for weighing in, but you'll lose a bunch of electrolytes, which is terrible for sports performance and life in general. So I took a bunch of these irresponsibly because I didn't know what they were. Like, I got them from a friend, and he's like, "Oh, you make weight," and I'm like, "Ah," and I do that, and I end up forcing myself into a potassium deficiency, which resulted in rhabdomyolysis, which resulted in tachycardia.
Now, so I don't know what that means. That shit sounds scary.
Potassium deficiency basically means your body starts freaking out because you have literally zero potassium in your body. Potassium is related to muscle contractions of the heart, basically just like digestion, like a lot. It's involved with a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Resulted in rhabdomyolysis, it's rhabdo. It's like RHABDO. Like, you see people in CrossFit talking about that. It's basically where your muscles start breaking down, and it's like your CK level increases because it's the amount of dead muscle tissue in your blood. And the higher that CK level goes, the worse shit is happening, because like your muscles really start dying and like eating themselves because your body's just freaking out. And then because of that, because my CK level got so high, combined with the potassium deficiency, which basically made my ultimately at the end of it, and another competition where my dad was at, I couldn't stand on my own. I would literally stand up and my ass would shoot out and my knees would cave in because my quads wouldn't contract right. And I still competed, though. I hit a 1675 total.
What the fuck, man? But you couldn't stand up? How the shit did that work?
I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know. But basically, at the end of it, my dad had to push me in an office chair, like from our hotel room down to the lobby.
People be like, who's this guy think he is, making his dad fucking push him around the hall? Dude, this guy thinks he's something else. They don't know the story.
Seriously. But ended up going to the hospital. They pumped me full of IV potassium, IV sodium, like all the electrolytes and stuff. And I spent 4 days in a hospital in New Jersey because I was like an idiot and almost fucked myself up because I was like, that's the way my brain works. I don't know like what the deal is, but it's like go all in on something or like it's not worth it. And I went all in and almost like muffed myself, and I was like, ugh.
Did you talk to that guy who gave you those pills? He was probably like, yo, but did you make weight?
Yeah.
You made weight though, right?
He's like, well, I didn't think you'd take that many. I didn't think you'd take that many. And I'm like, who the fuck are you talking to, man? Like,
you gave me 20, I took 20. That's how this works. That's how
it's supposed to work.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you give somebody a box of donuts and you're like, don't eat all these donuts. I'm gonna be like,
I mean these motherfuckers.
Yeah. So like basically after that, because my pulse was like resting heart rate was like 180 or something,
Jesus.
like bad. So they got me back to normal. I came back. By this time, I was living in Columbus. Came back to Columbus, and I was like, I am never going to compete 198 again. I'm never going to do like a crazy cut again. And since then, I just like that basically took that entire summer, fall area, like 6 months. I didn't track any food, didn't track anything. I just like because by this time I was doing personal training and working for Mount Carmel, which is it's a hospital system down here. I was in sales for them, and by that time I was out of school. I was just working, and just working 40 hours was like a load off. So I was like, I can spend like 5 hours in the gym. This is freaking great,
Yeah.
And I would, and I just ate and I just trained, and I remember looking back because my best squat at 198 going into that competition was like 640, I think it was, and then like 4 months after that, just eating everything, and I mean like this was dreamer bulking. It was like fulking, like fucked up bulking.
It's fucking.
Yeah, but I was training during this time, and I was spending like just three hours straight of work in the gym, and I looked at, there's a video I popped up on my time hop like a month ago or something where best squat going into that competition was 640, like 4, 5, 6 months after it, and I was definitely considerably heavier, but looking at I hit 635 for 6.
Holy shit.
Like an RPE 8.
Yeah,
and I'm like, and just thinking about that, I'm like, God, my body, because going from ultra fat kid to skinny kid to like skinny kid with some muscle, I was terrified of putting weight on because I'm like, I'm fat again. I'm gonna be the fat kid again, and I'm gonna like lose everything that I have. I'm not gonna be strong. Like nobody's gonna talk to me, and I'm gonna just not or something, because it's like this weird mental fucking dynamic, and my body wanted to put weight on it, wanted to put muscle on, and then when I finally fed it and was like, okay, I need, this is healthy for me, I did that, and it was just like, yes, give me more, and then like up here and like everywhere, and now now I walk around at like 230, 235, and am lifting the weight that I'm lifting, and
so you cut down to 220?
Yeah, it's usually like, because right now, like this morning I was 234, and I've just been like, I haven't really been tracking extremely strictly, because that's like it's not healthy for me, just with the whole like body image things and like obsessing with the number on the scale. Like it freaks me out because of where I was. So I'll just like eat intuitively. Like I know, and I tracked to lose those 100 pounds. I used my Fitness Pal. I was probably like one of the first people ever to use my Fitness Pal.
Dude, you're a good. If they find out about you, they should be using your story, man. But anyways.
Give me the sponsorships or scholarships or whatever. Welfare, sure, I don't care. Whatever. But like I tracked all that time, so I have a good idea as like how to eyeball stuff and like know what I'm getting.
And
like and like it's just better for me to like eat, make sure I'm able to perform in the gym, and then if I'm performing to the best of my ability and like training as hard as I can in the gym, it's not going to be like possible for me to get like sloppy fat, you know, and it's like I do still cut, I will still water cut, but it's just through like a little bit of dieting into it. I'll usually get down to like 230. And then just like into the U.S. Open, I did like. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, you know what? You for a second it stalled there, but now you're back.
Basically, I did a little bit of hot bath. I did like 3 rounds of a hot bath going into the Open, and I weighed in at like 218, so I was
an easy, fairly easy cut.
I wasn't like, oh my god, I'm gonna fucking die. Like going into it, I'm just like, shit, I'm hungry and thirsty, type of thing.
And you guys have 24-hour weigh-ins, right, in USPA. So you were bringing up the US Open, and that bad boy was heavily hyped. All the biggest guys. Hold on 1 second here. I got things popping up on my screen. Yeah, all the biggest names were involved in it. St. Dan Green, who was obviously injured, but so leading into this, what were you, in terms of the training and everything, and you've seen the big names going into it, what was your expectations? And the night before, like, kind of walk us through a little bit, because this was like, I know everybody, we're IPF guys, all eyes were on this US Open. The money involved was insane. The people, like, you got the Larry Wheels, the Ben Pollocks, even the John Hacks, people are jumping over saying, I want to take a stab at this. I mean, and I didn't know how you were going to end up, this is like the Super Bowl, right? We were rooting for you because we repost the shit out of you on King of Lifts and Squad Champs and all the rest of it. But we were like, I don't know how the hell anyone's going to, like, you just can't miss lifts. And so anyways, maybe walk us through a little bit leading into the US Open.
Well, basically, like, it's hard to say because, like, I was nervous because it was ultra hyped up, and I'm competing 220. I'm up against Yuri Belkin, and everybody says like this fucking guy's untouchable. Like nobody has anything on him ever, you know. And it's just like shit. Am I gonna like walk out? And I had never competed in wraps before. This was my first training cycle, first meet in wraps. So like that's just a mind fuck when it comes to hitting depth and like knowing where you're at in the squat because you actively push into the wraps as well. So it's like it's like just shit. This hurts. There's 800 pounds on my back. Fuck. Like you're not really thinking like okay, stay in position type of thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like. I was nervous, and like I went out to San Diego with me, Skylar, and my parents were out there, and we're just like I'm on weight, and I'm just thinking like, man, I don't know what's gonna happen. Like this is crazy, and there was so much hype leading up into this meet, and that's the only thing where I think they sort of flubbed on, because they should have just let it been like naturally occurring, which I think they're going to be doing for the 2018 U.S. Open, because there is going to be another one. There's talks of it being downtown San Diego at the San Diego Convention Center, which is going to be fucking awesome. But like they had who they had, Terry Crews, and then like Chuck Norris.
Yeah, dude, it was crazy. It was like seriously looking at this shit. It was like it was insane. The hype around it. Yeah. You got like freaking for real A-listers talking about. I can't wait till the U.S. Open. It's like, holy smokes.
And that was cool, but I mean, the only thing about it was the stream, the live stream sucked, and Gracie knows it sucked, and that's like why it sucked, or not why in the situation itself sucks, because like they put so much effort into having this live stream be like HD. 1080p, whatever you want to call it, like just high quality video, like great video production out there. But the freaking Wi-Fi at like the system at the venue didn't have like the capacity to put that out. So it was just all this high quality equipment, and it just wasn't transferable across the two. So like that's the only thing. I just honestly, I think what they need to do, but nobody ever wants to work together because we're all powerlifters and we're all stubborn and idiots. There just needs to be like some type of cross communication, because I mean, look at the IPF streams. Like those are great.
I was about to say. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I stream those on my TV, and I just sit on the couch, and I'm like, IPF Worlds, this is fucking great.
Yeah.
You know, it's super high quality. Like, if it had that, there literally would have been, like, no shortcomings with the meet at all, because at the venue and, like, leading up to it, it was the most, like, I saw somebody, I was reading her comments. She's a high-level IPF competitor. She wasn't at the U.S. Open, and she was like, it was so unprofessional. And I was like, why are you, like, you weren't there. I competed. It was great. Yeah. Like, what are you talking about? Because being there, like, we were treated like fucking celebrities. It was freaking cool, man. Like, yeah. I'm walking around, like, warming up in the back, and there's, like, fucking camera dudes in my face, and I'm like, this is freaky. But it was cool, you know, and like Gracie and Russell, like, just, they were great to us, and like I loved all of it. And the biggest part that I loved about it, because I've heard like horror stories of other money meets and stuff where it's like, oh yeah, we're gonna get you the money eventually, we're gonna mail you the check. I got a fucking envelope with my name on it and a check inside of it for $10,000 that day.
Nuts, eh? That's crazy.
They came to me, and I'm like, haha, great, money, student loans.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
It was interesting you had said about the with the IPF Worlds. Like, I know, because I'm on the IPF media team, and they have a guy, Eric Roop, who's just phenomenal. With that Wi-Fi situation you were talking about, he knows ahead of time. He knows this whole setup. He's got like a list of questions, and he runs through it. And this dude, like, things don't, like, if a Wi-Fi falls down, he knows how to problem solve it, because he's been all over the world doing this kind of thing. And in those, in terms of like the media team, like with the cameras, they hired like TV guys. And this one dude, he's 73 years old, working in like they're from England, right? BBC, with the BBC, like back in like the 80s and 70s. Like, these are for real TV guys who do, like, this is what they do. So I know the IPF is like, you know, you have your budget, and they have tons of money, obviously, U.S. Open.
Yeah.
Go out there, get a fucking TV team, and get like a guy who does the Wi-Fi, and that's all he does, is just do these kind of streams. And, because, yeah, like you said, probably, like, in terms of what was going on the platform, man, it was like all the biggest names. Now, the night before, when you're making weight, and you're walking around in the hotel, and you're seeing all these guys, these are like living legends who were there.
Yeah.
How were you feeling? Were you like, holy, what were your expectations?
I'm always starstruck, dude, because I still think, like, I'm, at the time I was 23, and I'm like, I'm 23 years old, like, who the fuck am I? Like, I'm, like, what is this, you know? And like, see Dan Green, and he comes up to me, and he's like, oh, hey Joe, how's it going? And I'm like,
well, the fuck, you know who I am? That's crazy. I love how you talk about Dan Green, because I'm like the same way. Dan Green is like not even real, right? He's like a comic book dude. Like, this dude doesn't actually walk the streets. He's not a real person. He's a myth. This is crazy.
And dude, like, it's crazy, because I don't think I'm ever gonna not feel like that, just because I have so much respect for these guys, because I know how much effort it takes to get to that level. And like, it's just crazy, because I see Ed Cohn, I see like Dan Green, I see Andrew Herber, Larry Wheels, Kevin Oak, Ben Pollack, all the other guys that I like, Yuri Belkin, all these guys, and I'm just like, fuck, dude, like, it's everybody is here for this reason. Like, we have all,
holy shit.
Like, the cumulative training age of everyone here, 10 years. Dan Green, like 15 years. Kevin Oak, like 15 years. It's like over 150 fucking years of time spent in the gym for one singular purpose. Yeah. And just knowing that is like, it's just overwhelmingly awesome, but overwhelming in general. Yeah. You know, and it's, but then I, like, the biggest thing with me, because going back to that at the animal cage, like in 2015, I was like, I'm going to do this one day. I meant to do this one day. I literally would repeat to myself on, like, the day before, the day of, like, on the platform, in the warm-up room, I would literally just, like, think to myself, and I'm like, I am meant to be here. like this is what I'm meant to do. Like this is what I'm supposed to do. Mm-hmm. And it's just repeatedly saying that, and not even like visualization of like get the lift. It's just like whatever happens, but I've done everything within my realm of possibility, or like within my power, to set myself up for success here and on this day, and I'm supposed to do this on this day. Like this is where I am, and that's how it was. You know,
How did you sleep the night before?
I slept fine. I mean, I'm not good at sleeping in general. Like I'm more of a nap guy. Like I don't really sleep straight. Like I'll sleep and then wake up and like bum around and then like go take a nap and then another nap, because it's how I've always been. I don't know. But I slept okay. I mean, we were at Skylar is a bartender at the Westin Hotel, downtown Columbus, which is like, it's a really nice hotel. And she gets special rates at other hotels. So we like upgraded to like the 7-layer, like jumbo bed, heaven, whatever. So I'm just like laying there. I'm like, this is fucking great, type of thing. So we had like no want for comfort or anything, and I was like, I slept all right. I took I took like a half a thing of Benadryl, like the diphenhydramine, to just like not knock me on my ass, but not like be groggy the next day. Went to bed early, and I slept okay. Like it wasn't great, but I knew I wasn't going to be like wanting for any energy the day of the meet.
So when when it was the day of the meet and the lifting started, who was handling you with that kind of dough on the line? Who was handling you? And did you know where you're at in the field? And did you know like you're getting towards a podium finish? And like in terms of the day of the actual battle occurring?
Charlie Young was handling me. He was also and still is coached by Thomas Neal. Me, Dallas Norris, and Kyle Keogh all pitched in to pay for Charlie to come out to the competition to wrap our knees, because he's terrifyingly good at wrapping knees. Like they were black and blue and disgusting for like weeks after. But Charlie came out. He was handling me. I had him call my attempts. I was like, "You've seen my training. You know what I can hit. Like, just do it." And I trusted him. You know, he's a great friend, and I basically told him like, "Hey, you get me any money, I'll give you 10% of it."
Oh shit! See, that's what we were talking about before. Is like, how would that work? Because 10 G's or fucking 40K. When you're handling, you were like, God damn, man, it's a lot of money on the line, and it would be a lot of pressure for a dude to run numbers and be like, I don't want to cost this guy 40K. This guy could turn around and be like, that was you. You know what I mean? Like, you should have done this. You should. That's pressure. And, you know, it's like
it depends on the type of person, because like I'd like to think I wouldn't be like, it's your fault, man. But like I get it. You know, but I was like, man, I couldn't do it without you. So like, if you get me any money, that's part of yours, or that part of that is yours. So we just came to an agreement. I was like, 10% of it, I'll just PayPal you, whatever. And basically, what happened was well, first off, on my last squat warm up, which 785, my squat rack height was like, we didn't adjust it a little, like it was up one from where it should have been. So I squat with my pinkies under, like thumbs forward, pinkies under, and like the Eagle Claw grip or whatever. And I'm walking out with it, and I smoke it like no issue, whatever. I'm walking it back in. I missed the fucking rack.
Shit.
I'm going, and on the ER rack, you know, it's like they're angled in or angled out.
Yeah.
Mine were in, so I drop it, and it's coming down, and it slices my 2 fingers. So on my last spot warm up, like 6 minutes from lifting time, I'm fucking bleeding like a stuck pig.
Blood has been drawn. You drew first blood. You drew first blood.
Yeah.
The battle is on, gentlemen.
I'm just freaking out because I'm like, well, I'm gonna bomb on deadlifts now. I'm not gonna be able to hold on to anything.
Oh,
like I just tell myself like, I'm done. But we go to the EMTs. They hit me with like some what's it called, like the nitrite to stop the bleeding and like just bandage me up. And I'm like, well, we're just gonna have to see how it goes. Yeah. And my first attempt on squat was like 826 or whatever kilo equivalent of 825 is. I smoke it, got 3 white lights. My next plan was to go 825, bigger jump to the second attempt to 865. Jesus. See how that moves, and then either call anywhere from like 880 to 905. And I smoked the first attempt, easy. Like the platform, because it's on a stage, so we were like 7-8 feet above everybody else. So they had like an elevated platform up there. I thought that it felt weird. It felt weird under your feet because I'm coming up on my first attempt and I rotate a little bit and I'm like all on my right leg and I'm like I finish and I'm like, okay, that was terrifying. But I hit it and I'm like, okay, well I'm just gonna have to address that on my next attempt. We call for 865. Just getting ready for it. Like Charlie wraps my knees. I walk out there and I smoke it. It moved so disgustingly fast, but it probably moved that fast because I was high. It was 2-to-1 reds on the side.
I thought I was gonna say you like smoke weed before? I was like, oh, got you. You squatted high. Okay, yeah. Plot thickens. Yeah. Got you.
Yeah. Yeah, I got called on my second attempt, that 865, 2 reds on the side, one white from the head judge. Told me I was just an inch high, and like Charlie in Dallas, because Dallas was in the flight before me or after. He wasn't in my same flight, so he was watching, and he's like, they were both like, it could have went either way, whatever, and I was like, all right, well, and me being, because my whole thought process is there's a difference between being a strong lifter and a good lifter. A strong lifter can hit big numbers, but a good lifter puts a big total together. Mm-hmm. So like a good lifter retakes an attempt that he misses, doesn't go balls to the wall, like doesn't go 4 for 9, 3 for 9, 5 for 9. Like you want 7 for 9, 8 for 9, 9 for 9 meets to put that big total together that you can. So this was the one time where I was like, just retake it. I'm not going to wait for you guys.
And are you thinking to yourself when you do this, because in the meet, we're all talking about it, how close the competition is, and we're all saying, like, it'll depend who goes 9 for 9. And it's the first event, and already you missed one. Are you telling yourself, fuck, man, I hope this doesn't end up, it's tough. That's tough, isn't it? Like, did that at all bother you?
I'm sure that was like in the back of my head somewhere, but in the moment, I'm just thinking me. I'm just thinking like, all right, close to 9 for 9 as I can, doesn't matter, retake 865. It's sort of a mixture of knowing the outside pressures, but then like pushing them out and like keeping them right here, not letting them like in during that time, because it fuck you up.
Yeah. And going into the bench, you might be anywhere from 30 to 40 pounds, maybe less than maybe you would have hoped if you gotten, so going to the bench, did you know where the other cats were? And what was the feeling going into the bench press with that hanging over you?
This is actually really interesting because I posted about this on Reddit a while ago, because this was a lot of fun, and it was really only could have happened at a meet like the US Open, because I was planning to end anywhere from like 501 to 515 on my thirds if I hit first, second, thirds, like perfect world, whatever. But Yuri and I, because it was basically me and Yuri as like the two top 220s up there. Like there was another, I don't even remember. Josh Lentz was another guy that he totaled. I think he totaled like 1910 or something. But he's he's great dude, but just not at that level yet. Mm-hmm. And Yuri and I were opening at like similar benches. I was at like 485. He was at like 481, and we saw his camp go talk to the judges table, change his bench attempt to 485, and I'm good at benching. My bench has really been clicking lately, like this past year, and we took some smaller jump warm-ups in the back room, and I hit 475, and it moved like nothing, like literally nothing on my chest. So he moved his opener to 485, and then we waited a couple of minutes and went up to the judging table, moved my opener to 491, and then his camp saw that we had done that, waited a couple of minutes, moved his opener to 491, and then we're with me and Charlie, we're talking amongst ourselves, and we're like, all right, we got him now, because we're in his head.
Yeah, well, very true. He's showing that he's looking at you. What was his last squat? What was his last, do you know what his last squat was?
He only went 1 for 3 on squats. I hit that 865 on my last.
Yeah.
He only hit his opener at 790, I think it was.
Oh, shit, son. Okay.
Yeah, because at this point, he's thinking. He knows it's like Joe Sullivan, who the fuck is this guy? Like, where the hell did that squat that's like 80 pounds ahead of my squat come from?
Yeah, wow,
because
unless he's following squat champs. But go on.
I have him by squat. He has me by deadlift. So it was this like dynamic thing.
He's saying this battle might be won and lost in the bench.
Yeah. So he increased his opener, and then me and Charlie are just sitting there, and we're in his head now, because we haven't seen his benches, so we didn't know how they were moving, but I knew the way that 475 and then the 485 that I took in the warm-up room, the way that was moving, I knew I was going 3 for 3 on bench. Like, unless I royally fucked it up somehow, like missing an attempt or something, or like just losing it, I knew that was how it was going to be today. And he hit his opener before me, because he hit that 491. I was opening at like 496 or whatever. We were opening it both at 491. He hit his first grinder, like really, really difficult. And me and Charlie just look at one another and we're like, let's fucking go, man.
Let's take a knife to this kid's neck.
Yeah, and I go out there and smoke my opener, like just no issue whatsoever. Could have hit it for like a set of 4. And then racket, he calls for his second. His second's only a 2.5 kilo increase, misses.
Oh shit!
So we're like,
he's lucky he got that
yeah.
opener if he's that close to the limit. That was ballsy of him to do, man. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, and then I go out there, hit my second. Honestly, my second was harder than my third attempt, because it was like 499, I think it was, or whatever, because I got it out. I got it like right here, and I swear to God, I forgot to press on my chest because it felt so light. I was like, I forgot where I was, and I'm like, oh shit, and I go, but it was harder than my third attempt, and because of that, we only called my third to 507. Mm-hmm. So Yuri hits his 494 or 496 or whatever it was. He got it on his third attempt. It was fucking like grinder level, like RP 11 type of thing.
Yeah.
But so I got to give him that. But then we call 507 on my third, which is right in between that end range I wanted, and I smoke it. Like I was good for like another 2.5 kilos, maybe even 5 kilos. But smoke it, 3 for 3 on bench. I'm ahead of him by, what is that, like 70 pounds now? So I'm in the lead by 70 pounds. We're figuring out the Wilks in the back, like seeing where the deadlifts are going to put us. And I'm still in my head, I'm thinking, fuck, I got these fingers that are just bleeding like crazy. Because with the bench press, they were bleeding because there was so much pressure put on them. And I was paranoid, freaking out in the back room. So we just take it easy on warm-ups, just see what's going on, see how they're going to be. And we actually get the EMTs. We had a good conversation with the EMTs. Another guy was talking to my dad. He's an older gentleman, was talking to my dad, and they became like best buddies or whatever. And end up getting a preemptive packet of those nitrite blood stop coagulation things, and we put those on preemptively before my last warm-ups. I hit 678 or whatever it was in the back room. No issues. I hold it for like 3 seconds at the top. I'm like, okay, this is good. This is going to be all right. So we go out. I open at 7:05, smoke it, no issues whatsoever. And this is when it's like, okay, we're gonna have to see where Yuri goes, and we're gonna have to adjust accordingly, because he's a monster on deaths.
Yeah, no, that's the thing.
That's what he's good at.
Yeah.
And he smokes his opener at like 865, I think it was. So that pretty much just trumps my squat. You know, so now it's like, okay, neck and neck, I'm ahead of him by like 10 pounds now. Mm-hmm. Like this is it. So I call 751 on my second, smoke it, like no issue. And I'm like, okay, this is good. You know, we're just gonna have to see what Yuri does and figure it out. Because like,
crazy,
you know,
you're going toe to toe with fucking Yuri Balkin, eh? That's
who
nuts, man.
the fuck am I? Who the fuck am I? I'm at this point, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
What the fuck is going on?
Little Joe in the back of my head is just like, you can beat him.
Yeah,
you can do it.
Shit, this might happen. Yeah.
Yeah. And so basically, he hits, he opened at like 830, and then he hit 880 on his second. So on his second, we see that, like, I'm only ahead of him by 10 pounds, and he's ahead of me at that point. I forget how it worked out, but he's ahead of me, and we figure out that in order to beat him, in order to stay ahead of him, if he misses his third attempt, which we knew he was going to go 904 or whatever, because he always goes 904 until he broke it like the week after, which is a whole other. But we knew he was going to go to that, so we know we got to stay ahead of him. So we call ballsy move. I need it to win. Put 804 on the bar, and I've never touched that weight. The heaviest I went in training was 720. So
holy smokes, that's a huge jump.
85 pounds.
Woo! Hey man, this is the time to do it.
Mm-hmm. And I'm like, fuck it, you know. And in my head, I'm like, this is where I'm supposed to be. This is what I'm supposed to do. Like this is what it's about. And I call 804 on the bar. If I would have hit that, it would have put me at a 605 Wilks or a 603 Wilks, and a 2175 or something total, as opposed to where I finished at 2121. I squeeze it. I'm like, all right, let's do it. And I stand up with it. I get it about mid quad. And then this hand is just like, no.
Shit.
Yeah.
Came close, though.
Yeah, and I almost had it. Like, I don't have the video of it because I switched phones, but it's on Facebook somewhere. But I almost had it. And then Yuri went on to miss his third. So had I gotten that, I would have beat.
So Yuri was like, God damn, man, I'm not sleeping on Joe Sullivan no more. You actually gave him a test.
Chris Duffin got video of us talking after the competition, because during the competition, it was like nobody, like we're not talking to one another because we're like competing, and it's just like, you just don't want to do that, especially with like the Russian guys. They're like, I must break you type thing.
Yeah.
Back room just like, ha 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 ha, fun, you know, like this is great, but they're just like laser focused. But afterwards, we're talking, and he's like, I on it, and he's broken English, like he's not great at speaking English, as I know zero Russian, but he's like, I have no idea who you are prior to this, but now I know Joe Sullivan, and I'm like,
Mighty Joe. Yeah, you're like, now you know me. Now you know. He's following you on Facebook and shit now, or on Instagram, and he's actually not really on Instagram much, but yeah.
But yeah, we talked, and it was just, I congratulated him, and it was awesome. He ended up hitting I think it was like a 2173 total with like a 601 Wilks.
Yeah.
And I finished with a 2121 total with a 587 Wilks, a 587.8. And then Sean Doyle, who's another Kabuki strength sponsored athlete, Sean Doyle, he's like a 308. He's strong as hell. Should be will eventually be totaling I think he's going for 2350 or something absurd at Big Dogs too. He missed a 920 deadlift on his third, which would have put Wilkes at 588 to beat me. But yeah, that he made that jump to try to beat me, but he wasn't able to, and it was Yuri, myself, and then Sean as 1, 2, 3.
So was Duffin
handling
Sean?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yep. Was he? Okay.
Yep.
And then you were like, hey man, you backed the wrong horse there, homeboy.
Yeah, and then after this, they offered me that Kabuki strength sponsored athlete. So I'm like, hey.
Oh, that's right. That's why they're like, let's get this guy in.
Yeah. But no, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. Me and Sean are good friends and stuff.
Yeah, we post the hell out of Sean as well. He's an extremely strong guy, to say the least.
Yeah. But and that's we all had me, Skylar, my parents, and the whole Kabuki team went out afterwards, got dinner, and it was grand old time type of thing. And
So you guys, you went out to dinner, and then is that when he actually got you on the team and said, do you want to join?
No, it was a week after this. It was basically we just enjoyed ourselves for the rest of the time there. It was just hanging out, talking lifting and whatever, and just stuff like that. But
did it hit you after this big? Holy shit! I was in the mix there, and I was it holy? I remember looking at the results, some big name dudes you were saying about getting injured, got injured, dropped out. You couldn't call it. You couldn't call it, man.
No. Yeah, and that's the thing. Another good friend of mine, Dominici, he's a super heavyweight. We're both competing at the same USPA meet in November 19th, the Southern Strength Showcase #2. We're both going to be down there. And he we were talking about it, and it's all these guys, everybody, it's the whole go all in mindset. Everybody was all in because when you have the opportunity to win a salary, not a great salary, but it's just a fucking extra income of 40 grand.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to pull out all the stops. Everybody's going to be training a little bit harder, doing a little bit extra, getting a little bit extra sleep, a little bit of extra time, whatever.
Yeah.
And sometimes it just worked out the way it was. Herbert ruptured his tricep tendon. Larry tore his quad, had a muscle belly tear in his quad. Andy Huang had a muscle belly tear in his quad. Kevin Oak fucked up his SI or whatever was going on with that, and it just worked out that way,
Yeah.
And same thing could have happened to me because I'm not completely injury free. I ruptured my bicep tendon a year and a half ago. And it's just you walk that tightrope,
Yeah.
When I felt that pop in my arm, now I think every time I'm unracking a squat, I'm man, I felt that pop and then the roll of the muscle into the shoulder.
That's gross.
I wonder what it's I wonder what that would feel like with a quad tendon.
Yeah, and I'm shit. Don't want those things, man. Don't do it to yourself. Who do you train with back in your home gym? Who's your crew, your team? You got a team that you train with, a powerlifting team, or?
I mean, it's not so much we don't have all right, it's squat day, bench day, whatever. I generally do my own thing. I'm more of a guy that's do his own thing and just get in the gym, do the work and go. But we have a good group of people at Beyond Limits Training at downtown Columbus. like we're all friends in there. That's actually where I met Skylar, like, because everybody in there is like 20 to 40 years old. Like it's that age bracket. And we'd go in there, and if like it was really cool because most of the guys in that gym are USAPL and IPF competitors. Like Katie Rutherford lifts there, and like a bunch of just. It's very like IPF oriented, but
I've seen you guys when we repost. I've noticed the gym and Katie in the same gym. Like it looks like a strong gym.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like it's everybody in there is like training for something. It's not so much like just okay, everybody's training for this meet, everybody's going to be squatting this day, but it's like everybody has a competition, whether it's strongman, figure, powerlifting, whatever, CrossFit, whatever. It's everybody is very goal oriented, and it's just a really good environment because it's like I've never been one of those guys that like I need to go there and have like my squat day with my guys, like my guy to wrap my knees, my guy to whatever. Like I've never been that guy, but just knowing I can text Katie, I can text my friend Alex Bogart, I can text Jake Daniel, I can have Skylar come on one of her off days and be like, hey, I need you there because I have to work up to like 880 or something. Because I just need somebody there to like yell at me.
And there's like no cross federation, no politics. Everyone's like whatever. They just get along and do the thing.
Yeah, and that's why it's so cool because it's like if I put my thoughts out there. Like I've made my choices, whatever, and I don't care what other choices other people make. But like just completely sort of semi-related thing, I have a lot of respect for Brett Gibbs because he didn't shake the Kazakhstan dude's hand after that meet, because this is a very, very special circumstance where there are options for both drug tested and non-drug tested.
Yeah.
So you can see the guys totaling 10 times body weight at 220, and then you can see the guys like Ray Williams hitting 1,036, walked out ass to grass, you know? But then it's like, would I go try to compete at IPF Worlds? No. Is that immoral and shitty? Yes. Is the guy from Kazakhstan a scumbag? In my opinion, yes. But whatever.
Yeah, it's one of those. I know what you mean. Where like, yeah, and I think that's pretty much the overall feel for everybody, whether like in the IPF or whatever. Everyone loves powerlifting in general. The biggest thing is like, just don't cheat. Nobody respects a cheat. Nobody respects like you got a medal, but you had an unfair advantage, man. Like there was a sandbox for you to play in. If you think you're that good, try to go show up the U.S. Open. Yeah. You know, if you're gonna do that, show up the U.S. Open. Try that out. Don't go over to the IPF and beat up on guys. You know what I mean? I know what you mean, and I think everybody kind of is on that page, except for those dudes who are guys and girls who are trying to cheat it out. But
and that's why I love Beyond Limits, because it's everybody sort of has that mindset, and everybody there isn't shy about sharing that mindset. Because like as a non-IPF competitor, like I've had conversations with guys where it's sort of that like you sort of get that vibe of like the snide, like, oh yeah, that's cool, like, oh, but you squat with reps, you know, that should be equipped, but whatever, you know. It's sort of like that sort of like snide, like I'm gonna kind of look down my nose at you, but not really, but a little bit, and that's fine, you know. It's whatever. It doesn't hurt my feelings, but it's like it's just nice having Beyond Limits where everybody is as close to as objective as you can be, and it's just cool, you know, because going in there and being like, hey, I'm USBA, I'm gonna try to squat like obscene weight, like 900. Eventually I want to take the squat world record from Sam Bird. It's 915 at 220. I want to walk it out because I'm a non-monolift elitist. That's the one thing I am. If Ed Cohn and Andre Milanichev can walk their squats out, why can't you? And Ray Williams, like, can't you guys? But I want to walk it out and break that squat world record. But like just knowing I can say that to those guys, and then also I'm going to be the Beyond Limits. We're putting a Beyond Limits training team together for Raw Nationals, and I'm going to be down there. And knowing that I'm going to be the coach down there, and nobody has any issues with that. That's freaking cool. Like that's a good environment, and I love that. Because we're all friends, and it's like, yeah,
as it should be, man. As it should be. No need for judgment.
Exactly.
Yeah. Listen, we got it. We're running a little bit out of time. This is an amazing interview. We should probably have you back, dude, because you said you could shoot the shit. And no kidding, you can shoot the shit. You're a good hell of a guest. One of the best episodes we've ever had. I'll give a shout out to Katie Ann Rutherford. She actually was my girlfriend's nutrition coach. And so yeah, 6 degrees of separation, right? And
she's my fiance's nutrition coach. So
no shit. Wow, she's good at what she does. Anybody you want to shout out and thank before we let you go?
Kabuki Strength, Elite FTS, Thomas Neal. He did my coaching prior to Kabuki Strength. He got me to 2,006 pound total, raw with sleeves. He's a great dude. Studied under Shaiko for a while. Like he's smart as hell and sadistic and terrible. And then Chris Duffin, Kabuki Movement Systems, like that has played a huge role. Love my girlfriend, love my parents. Tell your parents you love them. Call your grandparents, ask them questions before they die. Be good people. Don't be shitheads.
There you go. Words to live by.
Hey Joe, you got a lot of years left in you. When this is all done, how do you want to be remembered?
Best in the world. Ever. Ever.
The GOAT.
Ever.
Wowzers, man. Wow, I wouldn't doubt you. Seeing how everything you've overcome and how far you made it already at 24. Hey, thanks for coming on, Joe. Love to have you back.
Hey, I'd love to talk to you guys again. Believe me, I love talking. But,
yeah.
All right, thanks. Man.
See you, mate. Have a good one.
Yeah. Yep.
Shit, man, that was whew. We got a minute? How much time we got?
No, we got a couple minutes. I just wanted to go. We were about an hour and a half in.
Yeah. No, dude, holy smokes.
The thing is about him, the reason why I wanted to cut it off too, because we could have talked to him for hours, but I do want him back because there's so many more stories left in there.
That's just it.
Like he's a sequel. This guy's a sequel waiting to happen.
There's some people you could hit a lot of it in the first go around hour. Another guy that was like an hour and 45 minutes.
Because he's just story after story. Like,
but he can tell a story.
Yeah, he's a sequel.
Yeah, and we just hit like literally
So he said he had a meet in November. Does that mean he's not doing Boss of Bosses?
Well, yeah, it doesn't sound like it, no. Which is well, whatever. I mean, it's tough to back to back type deal, right? I bet he'd probably be down there. Yeah, we didn't have a whole lot of time. We'll hit him back up before November. Yeah, we literally just dove in on the U.S. Open meet. Yeah. Imagine going through all of his meets like that, and his background. Holy sugar, man.
Yeah.
I can't believe, as soon as I heard he's from Flint.
Well, Michael Moore made Flint
famous
with bowling for Columbine.
Or notorious.
Bowling for Columbine, right? So.
But then, and even he talks about it often because he's from Flint. And but bowling for Columbine in particular, yeah. And then he talks about, or was it bowling for Columbine or Fahrenheit 9/11? Whatever. Anyways, he made it famous. And then obviously the water crisis they had and everything. Like everyone's looking at Flint like, holy smokes. You knew he was gonna have stories. We even dove into all of his stories. But coming in as almost a 300-pound kid at 5'5", at 14, Jesus Christ. When he said he was a meatball, he wasn't playing. He wasn't playing, man. He's been around. I can't believe it's true that at 24, you almost do forget the kid's 24. He's a kid. He's 24. Holy crap, man!
It's funny because the live stream was so shit, and I'll be honest, I didn't really go back and look at all the numbers and everything else, and I did not realize he was that close to Yuri.
I didn't. So when I was watching, I just watched like segments here and there. I didn't hit the live stream, but I was paying attention and posting up on our accounts. But I seen Joe where he placed, and I was like, holy smokes!
Yeah.
Just because, not that I doubt Joe, but they're like Joe was saying, they're legends in there.
Yeah.
And you would think but obviously shit happens. Larry Wales and Andrew and guys get pulled out from injuries and
his training
Kevin Oak.
I mean, we posted the shit out of his training because he was tagging.
He was doing good.
He was tagging us. It's funny about him because I remember one I reposted on him was I don't remember what it was, something with one of the deadlifts, but he was like, King of Lifts, repost this fucking lift. And I was like, Joe asked us so subtly, too.
Yeah, I remember that.
And he was like,
He's like, come on, man, you guys forget about me?
He was
We got so many.
He was so
posts to
excited
repost.
about that one lift, though. I just remember that coming in.
But and that's it. Like, Yuri, man, you should be following us. We post everybody. Remember T. Papula said, yeah, man, sometimes I follow you guys just to see if there's somebody creeping under my radar.
Yeah.
And you guys post them, and you're like, oh shit, who's this cat? Dennis Cornelius said the same thing. He likes to pay attention to the reposts, because then that's one thing with social media. And actually, Yuri doesn't post a whole hell of a lot.
No.
Everyone knows he's damn good.
Yeah, he's good. He doesn't really post a lot.
But if he gets injured or whatever, you have no idea.
Yeah.
He flies under the radar with that. But yeah, and you know what? Shout out to Powerlifting Motivation, live from Powerlifting Motivation Studios. Friggin', I think that's good for this one, man.
Yeah, that's good.
On to the next one. Till next time.